Hi everyone, how are you doing? So today I want to talk about the codes of feminine leadership, the magic of feminine leadership, and why this is so important. So this is for you if you know that there is a deeper alignment for you. You've got this big dream, goal, vision. You know you're here to serve in a big way in the world. And you have been through and overcome patterns of people pleasing, toxic empathy. You have transformed and transmuted the wounds around being either too much or not enough. So this can come up, is that we're too much or we're not enough, we're not worthy. And you know that there is a deeper level for you. You know there's a deeper softening and power with working with your feminine. And you know there is a deeper layer of authenticity and you aligning to that authenticity for you in your life, in your business, okay? So we tend to see women who are either feeling like they're too much or feeling like they're not enough. This is certainly a pattern that has played out for me in my life. I was very much on the not enough, not worthy side of the spectrum, completely unknown to me. I've had to do a lot of work on my worthiness. This is when I ended up meeting my soulmate, when I completely and utterly devoted to myself and put myself first. This is when I met my soulmate, when I did this work on not enough. As I started to unravel and decondition and unravel these layers over my life, that's interesting. I meant to say in my life, but over my life, still relevant. What I started to find is that I had this amazing energy and power that I never thought I had. I've always known I'm super sensitive, psychic, gifted, neurodivergent, however you want to, whatever name you want to give that. And when I was deeply in misalignment, that gift of that sensitivity was not being used in the soul aligned way it needed to be. And so when I started to decondition that and bring those areas of my life into alignment, what started to happen, and the boundaries piece is really, really big around this, okay, and so many of us, in fact, probably everyone watching this is deeply psychic, empathic, intuitive, but so many of us don't set boundaries around that so that we can truly lead from our feminine. So many women are stuck in their masculine or trying to compete with the masculine. This is where we see the rise of feminism and, International Women's Day and all these things. Actually, the power lies within us and within our divine feminine, not trying to be the masculine, not trying to compete with the masculine. Of course, having those healthy masculine aspects within ourselves, having the boundaries, the structures, the routines, and all of the things that support our divine feminine, but not from this crazy angry place of feminism. Okay, that's not what the divine feminine is about. So what I started to notice when I started to really get my life into true quantum alignment, my life, my business, the boundaries, the relationships, then I had to work through the too much, because then what I became aware of was that I actually had this limitless energy that I'd not been able to access for a very long time, since I was a child. So I started working in corporate when I was 17, and I did a degree part-time while I was working there, and I worked in corporate for 15 years. And I would say through the whole of, and let me know if this resonates with you, through the whole, and I've got a very cheeky kitten who I'm sure is going to knock everything over in any given moment. So if I suddenly go or the phone falls down, that is why. I gave her some biscuits to distract her, but she's now playing with the blind, so she's found something else. So if you can see this light moving over me, it's because she's playing with the blind, and the blind is moving the light. So what started to happen is I became aware of this limitless energy within me when I started to decondition, when I started to really work around who I truly am at my core, why I'm here with these sensitivities and gifts. Then the too muchness came out. Then it was like, whoa, like that energy is too much for everyone else. And this was something that I experienced in my marriage. This is part of the reason that my marriage ended as well, was because I was too much. Because I was too much. I was constantly being reflected back to me that I was too much. It was kind of this sense of like, and he, he's a lovely guy. It was very conscious separation, but there was very much this sense of like, wow, I married this shy, quiet girl, who now has a voice and is now speaking on stage. It was almost like not as dark and toxic, but it was almost like the demonstration of exactly what is going on with feminine on a worldwide level right now. Okay, the silencing, like the feminine has won. The planet is in its feminine energy. The new earth is here. Yet there's this silencing still continuing to try to play out. I say try because the light has won, the planet has won. It was almost like that. It was suddenly like, who is this person? Like, she's shifted, she's changed, she's speaking on stages, and she's got this really big energy, and that's a bit too much. It was this sense of like, just calm down. I was even told this from a mentor as well. Just calm down, just do one thing. Just focus on, look at this cute baby that is helping me today. I don't know if you can see her because it's so dark, but I got a cute baby. It was almost this sense of like, whoa, this is too much. So this was basically just reflecting back to me the work that I'd done. I'd healed my worthiness, and this energy was starting to come out of me. It was limitless, and I was manifesting left, right, and center. I was creating these incredible experiences in my life, in my business. And then it was starting to reflect back to me where I thought I was too much. And of course, this then went into like childhood patterns as well, where I'd, maybe been told I was too much as a child. Okay, so I had to work through all of this. So when we're in this space of true feminine leadership, we don't operate in this space of too much or not enough. Okay, so we're transcending that. And we're truly in that place of being that power and authority. You hear me talk about power and authority a lot. It's like, I know my power. I know I am the authority. I know I am powerful. Like, this is what I know about myself and what I need and what I desire and the timeline that I'm choosing. I know that I have all of those answers inside of me. That is true feminine leadership. We're kind of transcending that too much or not enough, because when we go into that space, we're not the authority and we're not in alignment. And she's been so cute today. And another thing that I see really commonly, which actually breaks my heart, and again, and this is one of my gifts, is like zooming out and seeing how these patterns that play out on a micro level for us, like with our interactions, with your interactions with your your relationships, your family, your society, your work, how this is actually playing out on a global scale as well. So it's happening on there's a cat tail about to knock the phone over. It's happening on a macro level, and it's also happening on a micro level. Okay, it's just the same themes playing through as the feminine rises on the planet. So as you transcend these patterns in yourself, you're helping to shift the planet. And thousands of years ago, we had the priestesses, the oracles that the kings went to and consulted and paid for their gifts to receive that information, and then they went and took the action. So the feminine has, for thousands of years, the feminine has led, but the feminine energy on this planet has been suppressed for so long. And this new paradigm, it is coming back. So this is why we are being so pushed into healing these wounds of I'm not enough, I'm too much, and becoming that power and authority, becoming that feminine leader. And something that I've had an awareness of is just how powerful your feminine energy is because of what is happening on the planet right now, because of what is happening in the space of spiritual warfare, like because of all of these things, right? If the feminine was not powerful, then there would not be attempts to bring her down. And this even comes into like the abuse of Mother Earth, like the environmental issues, the abuse of Mother Earth, real kind of patriarchy, you know, damaging patriarchy. Okay, this is even true for Mother Earth. These themes just run through the whole thing. So a couple of elements of really truly being the feminine leader, we need to look at a couple of things, and this does include also the healthy masculine energy as well, because we need to work with both of those energies within us. And there's a couple of aspects of our feminine or masculine that you might resonate with. So firstly, the wounded feminine is something that I want to talk about. And let me know if you've heard of the drama triangle. I think it's Kaplan's drama triangle, okay? So the wounded feminine is very much in this triangle. And when I got myself out of this space, when I got myself out of this triangle, this has shifted the whole power dynamic of my whole entire life. It's shifted my business, it's shifted the type of clients I'm attracting, it's shifted my money situation, it shifted the way I experience reality and the way that I manifest. So in the drama triangle, we have, and I don't know which order they're in, we have the victim, the persecutor, and the rescuer. So something happens to the victim. The victim is in victim mode, that's the wounded feminine. The perpetrator is the person doing that thing to the wounded feminine, okay? And the perpetrator could even be herself. It could even be part of herself that is a perpetrator. It could be the world, it could be energy, it could be the masculine, it could be work, it could be anything, right? A big one for me, so it was part of me that was persecuting me, but a big one for me was just the world at whole. This is where I was stuck for a very long time, like deeply knowing that the world and the structures and the systems that currently existed were not in alignment for me. They were not in alignment with my sensitivities. They were not in alignment with my body. They didn't feel nourishing. They didn't feel expansive. Yet I felt done to by them. Okay, so that was kind of how that played out for me. Then the rescuer, a lot of instances, in my case, the rescuer was me. But for some people, the rescuer will be, other people, my friends, family, partners. And then we get stuck in this cycle of the triangle, where it's like the persecutor can do something to the victim feels completely helpless, then the rescuer has to come in. Or you may even resonate with being the rescuer. I mean, certainly I do in the past as well, like being the rescuer, seeing the victim. This is actually where a lot of my work started, because I could see the victim, I could see all these victims, and I could see how they were being persecuted and done to by the world, and I wanted to sweep in and rescue and help and have that fixer complex, okay? So when you step out of this triangle, it just impacts everything. And the biggest thing that I did to step out of this triangle, out of the wounded feminine, into my divine feminine energy, my divine feminine blueprint, was with the healthy masculine energy. So to get out of this triangle, you would think, wouldn't you, like to step out of something, it must be like a surrender. It must be a surrender. It must be like a feminine energy to actually step out of something. But it wasn't. It was the opposite. I actually needed a structure to step out of this, because what I was coming to realise is that that line on the triangle from persecutor to victim, there were actions, there was energy coming down. If you think about that, like almost like an energy flow coming from that persecutor to the victim, that line was coming down with ease. And what I came to realise is, working this entire pattern back, was that if there was something that would block that line, so the persecution would stop, then I could get out of the triangle. Okay, and I say persecution quite lightly because this covers so many things. Obviously, there's a lot of actual persecution going on in the world, which is huge and complex, I know. But it was masculine energy and divine masculine energy that got me out of this place. And what I started to realise is that to break this pattern, I needed to have boundaries, and I needed to say no a lot more. And at this point in my life, my body, I was very in tune with my body. So I've got to that point, I was very in tune with my body. My body was telling me that certain things weren't in alignment, but I didn't have that courage and bravery with all of them to fully step into that space of no. So to transform this experience with my divine feminine, I went through a period of time where I said no to everything. Probably for about a year, I said no to everything. So I didn't go to, and I learned the hard way with this as well, because working this cycle back, what I started to see is that a lot of the things I'd said yes to in the past had caused huge persecution, victim, rescuer energies in me. So I knew this was like also a bit of trial and error as well, from actually the times where I did say yes when I know I should have said no, and seeing how that played out. I unfortunately had to go through that pain, sometimes like real physical pain and even health issues as a result of that. I had to go through that to then learn from that. I'm just seeing the cat has typed something on my laptop. She's typed 10SZX. It looks like 10 sex. She's just jumped on my keys. Yeah, so I had to go through that. I had to have those experiences to realise what had happened and then to come out of it. So for about a year, I said no to everything. Everything. I said no to, I even said no to speaking events if they didn't feel right in my body, that I was invited to. So I said no. I said no to speaking events. I said no to work, certain clients. I said no to social events. I said no, even my partner being a musician, I said no to going to her gigs. And this just transformed my whole entire reality. And what this period of time taught me was the bravery and courage to follow that no feeling in my body, no matter what. And I was given so many more yes feelings, so many more opportunities, so much more abundance, so many more aligned clients, so many more aligned connections, so many more aligned opportunities. Like literally where I'm at today, this is my friend's house. I come and look after her animals, including her crazy kitten, who I think has calmed down. And it was through that process that I went through of taking myself out of that victim triangle and really honouring that sacred no, where I was kind of in this void space where I was saying no to everything, and that put me into this void space. And I sat in that void, I held that void, even when I felt like I was bored, even when I felt like I had the urge to like reach out to someone or connect or to arrange a social event. I sat through that. I sat through the discomfort of that. And then within the space of like a few weeks, all of these opportunities came in. So my friend who lives here contacted me and said, could really do with some help. Is there any chance you could stay here and look after my animals? And I was just like, yes. And then she booked more holidays and got me to stay here more. And this is like such a beautiful, expansive space where I come. Similar with another friend. And then last July, I was able to stay at this mansion, like absolutely giant house that had a swimming pool last summer. And I was doing coaching by the pool, which was just absolutely incredible. And I know all of that happened through holding that void, through getting myself out of that, because this is what happens when we transcend these states. We come into true alignment, and with that true alignment comes the magnetism, and comes the true alignment with our soul, and the opportunities that are actually meant for us can come in because we've created space for them. We've created tension to pull them towards ourselves. Okay, so it was the healthy masculine energy within me, the structures, the boundaries that got me out of that wounded feminine place. Healthy masculine, not toxic masculine. So I'm sure a lot of us resonate with the toxic masculine, the pushing, the hustle, the doing for the sake of doing. Like, that is old paradigm. We have moved away from that now. Okay, so I'm just checking my notes. What else did I want to talk about? Yeah, so it really is like this feminine power and the influence that you can have and the impact you can have on the world from this feminine power. It comes from a softness. It comes from a nourishment. It comes from a place of true alignment, heart, mind, body, soul, spirit. And it comes from following your body. And there's a lot of teaching out there about feminine embodiment, right? And a lot of it can be quite surface level, like, you know, put on a pink dress and dance and have bubble baths and light candles, but it is so much deeper than that. And in quantum alignment this round, we are going to go even deeper into this in terms of your alignment to your unique blueprint of your feminine. Because this is the other thing, right? You are here to create something very unique, very different. Your soul's path is completely different to everybody else. So what works for me won't work for you. There may be common similarities. There may be paths that we walk along with somebody else for a little bit in a, you know, coaching or mentorship space. But something that is incredibly important to me and is very deeply ingrained in my values is that everyone is unique and different. And what we actually need and the space that we need in this new paradigm, in this world where we're at now, is for people to be held in their authentic truth and what is right for them. And what you'll start to see, all the things that have been, you know, last grabby ditch attempts from the dark forces in the world to like bring things down, these are all areas of things where people are told they're not the authority. And why is that? Why are people told they're not the authority in so many spaces? Why do you think that is? It's because the feminine is so powerful and your authority is so powerful. It literally changes the whole planet. It clears dark energy. It vibrates the highest. It shifts the collective. And these dark energies don't want the collective to shift. It's too late, like it already has. But this is kind of this last ditch attempt. So anything that says, this is the truth, this is the way, you have to do this way, that is just an attempt to bring down power. What this paradigm needs, what the coaching industry needs, what the spiritual businesses need right now is space holding for people's authority. So I have clients who are super spiritual and they have different spiritual practices to what I do, and that is right for them, and we hold space for that. I have clients who are very, very religious and go to church, and that is what is right and true for them. Is like more, I mean, I only work with Source and God anyway in my practices, which is another conversation entirely. But whatever is true for you is true for you. Whatever works for you and feels expansive in your body is what is true for you. So it is incredibly important that we hold this space for others, that they are the authority, that it is a co-creation, that when we're healing, it is a co-creation, and that person is in full authority, full control of their energy, of their decisions, of their actions, and we hold that big space for them. It's like, I see you, I see your expansiveness, I see what is possible for you, and no goal is too big. No goal is too big. Anything goes. If that's what you want to achieve, I will hold that space for you to be there. And this is another thing, right? It's almost like that delusional energy. I talked about this before. It's almost that delusional energy, because that kind of blue sky thinking, that is what is going to truly shift the planet. And this is how the feminine leads. These are the codes of the feminine. So this is also why coaching is important. So for those of you who are coming into quantum alignment this next round, we go deep into coaching skills. Deep, deep, deep into coaching skills, because this is so important. Because coaching truly holds space for people to be their most authentic selves, and that they have all of the answers inside of them, aka not in victim mentality. They have all the answers inside of them and hold space for their magic. So not only am I going to coach you in the space of quantum alignment, but you're also going to learn deeper coaching skills as well. So if you have got like a spiritual or healing based business, you can incorporate coaching into that. You might already be a coach. You might be a leader in some format where you could really tap into that authority piece a little deeper with others. Because another thing, sneaky secret, is it also creates psychological safety. On a brain level, this power and authority creates safety in the brain and opens up everyone's brains. So people, drop their defenses, they become more open, they become more expansive, their bodies start to heal. This is all scientifically proven as well. So this is why we go deeply into not only the alignment piece, not only the neuroscience piece, and like working through and transmuting and transforming your shadows, but also like, what is your soul's blueprint? What are you creating? And then how can you bring these tools in to really maximize your impact on the world, your feminine leadership on the world? And remember that your feminine leadership is completely and utterly unique to you. It is your blueprint, your soul's blueprint that you are here to do. That is your path, your mission, your purpose. That is how you lead. So there is a wait list currently for the next round of quantum alignment, which is going to be starting very soon. So if this is calling you, put waitlist in comments and I will send you details. As soon as the doors are open, I will send you the details so that you can see those and come and join us. If you've been through a round of quantum alignment already and you want to rejoin us, some of you have been through self-led, so if you want to come in and rejoin the group, there's going to be an amazing offer for people that have been through it already, because it is up leveling this round. I'm adding new stuff in, and the way we are going to be doing the calls is going to be very different. We have 3 incredible live sessions planned, as well as all of the 12 modules throughout the 12 weeks as well. So if you want to be added to the wait list or want more details on that, then let me know. And if you take anything from this, I want to remind you of your power. I want to remind you of your brilliance. And I want to remind you why you're here, because it's not coincidence that you are here on the planet at this time, at this pivotal moment of humanity. You are here for a reason. You are here to make an impact on the world. And you would not be here at this time with your gifts, with your skills and the experiences that you've been through and the magic that you've seen happen if that was not for a reason. And it breaks my heart that so many women do not show up. They do not show up. They do not speak their truth. Because you're here to shift the world. You're here to be seen, to be visible, to use your gifts, to speak. Literally, as you speak, you transform. As you channel and you speak, you transform. And you're shifting the planet just by being you. It is, of course, about showing up in the right spaces as well. Showing up in spaces where your tribe truly are. And again, this is different for everybody. But when you show up in those spaces where, firstly, it's about seeing yourself. And then when you see yourself and you love yourself, others will meet you at that level and you will find that tribe of people where you are so celebrated, you are so supported, that you have this incredible impact. So it is safe for you to be seen. It's safe for your gifts to be seen. Like this world that we live in now, it is safe for women's gifts to be seen, to be used, to be brought in. It is safe for your feminine leadership. Like now is the time. It has not been safe in the history of humanity. But this is your time. So if you are here, if you are watching this, is for a reason. So go step into your magic. Minimal disruption from the kitten, so that went well. Any questions, let me know.